Governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu, came out today after a few days when the Lagos State Judicial Panel released their report or submitted their reports. And they are yet to act on the report, but the governor is asking the celebrities to come out and work for peace, not for justice. So people have been responding that justice first before peace, just like those who are unity beggars, and they will never want to look into the injustices that has become the uniform of this APC. It was Bokwari who set up or who gave the marching order for states to set up NSAS panel after the killing spree of the Nigerian security forces when they unleashed them and they massacred hundreds of peaceful protesters, mostly youth. It was Bokwari who announced that they should set up panels to investigate this as a measure to bring an end to police brutality. And it was also in the same Bokwari's government that when the panel in Lagos released their reports, indicted the Nigerian military, indicted the federal government, indicted the Nigerian police, they rejected the reports. And Festus Otobokeyamo came out and he said, the panels are actually illegal, but guess what? Flashback to 2020, when the killing was done, and in fact, was being done. Bokwari gave this speech.
This right to protest also imposes on the demonstrators the responsibility to respect the rights of other citizens and the necessity to operate within the law. As a democratic government, we listened to and carefully evaluated the 5-point demands of the protesters. And having accepted them, we immediately scrapped SAS and put measures in place to address the other demands of our youth. On approving the termination of SAS, I already made it clear that it was in line with our commitment to the implementation of extensive police reforms. Sadly, the promptness with which we have acted seemed to have been misconstrued as a sign of weakness and twisted by some for their selfish, unpatriotic interests. The result of this is clear to all observers. Human lives have been lost, acts of sexual violence have been reported, 2 major correctional facilities were attacked and convicts freed, public and private properties completely destroyed or vandalized, the sanctity of the palace of a peacemaker, the Oba of Lagos, has been violated. So-called protesters have invaded an international airport and in the process disrupted the travel plans of fellow Nigerians and our visitors. All this executed in the name of the End SARS protests. I am indeed deeply pained that innocent lives have been lost. These tragedies are uncalled for and unnecessary. Certainly, there is no way whatsoever to connect these bad acts to legitimate expression of grievance of the youth of our country. The spreading of deliberate falsehood and misinformation through the social media in particular, that this government is oblivious to the pains and plight of the citizens is a ploy to mislead the unwary within and outside Nigeria into unfair judgment and disruptive behavior. On the contrary, both our deeds and words have shown how committed this administration has been to the well-being and welfare of citizens, even with the steadily dwindling revenues and the added responsibilities and restrictions due to the coronavirus pandemic. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youth, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included our broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. The creation of 75 billion Naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the...
We will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope. We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
So a year after, the same Bokwari who came out to say they regretted the lives lost, and they, for a whole year after that speech, they denied that nobody died. When the panel released this report, they also rejected it. Liam O was everywhere, telling everyone that where are the bodies? Where are their families? 98 bodies were identified, and more than 15 were confirmed to have been from Lekki Toll Gate. The killings in Lagos State in October was not just at Lekki Toll Gate. It was all over Lagos State. Mushin, Ajegunle, Ojota, everywhere. People were slaughtered by the murderous police. And guess what? 1 year after, the reason why people protested has gone worse. It hasn't changed for any better. It has gone worse. So the governor, who is yet to even admit, the one who said it was the power beyond his, he said some powerful something beyond his control, are those who gave the order to shoot at peaceful protesters at Lekki Toll Gate. So they want to work for peace. So people are now saying, if you now want to work for peace, you better go and walk alone. During the NSAS protest, one of those Sanwo-Iku is inviting to come and work for peace with him is Mr. Macaroni. Debo. He was beaten like a common criminal during the NSAS protest. The video was everywhere. The police brutality still continues. Nothing changed. Nothing has changed for better. It has gone worse, like I said. So people are now saying, if Sanwo-Iku wanted to work for peace, there's nothing wrong with that. If he wants to work, he can work for peace with other people that brought a peaceful death onto the peaceful protesters, or horrible death to the peaceful protesters on the 20th of October 2020. Or he can easily just call on others like himself, and they should take the work for peace. People would rather work for justice. If there's going to be anything at all, it should be a protest for justice, for those killed that Bokwari and gang continue to deny in death. So if you want to work for peace, Bokwari should lead, because people still want to know who gave the order. No other person gave the order than Buhari himself. Okay. However, people are not interested in, though they will still be able to move or mobilize people that will eventually work with them. There's no problem with that. So that is on that. The next one is, I don't know if you have heard, they said that the same Nigeria that launched a plane logo and they called it national carrier, the same Nigeria is now telling everybody that by 2024, Nigeria will start manufacturing airplanes. The joke is on there is on many of you, especially those of you who actually take these guys serious. However, they also said they are going to borrow 3 aircrafts, passenger aircraft, that they are going to use to launch Air Nigeria, the national carrier for Nigeria. This was also where they mentioned that they were going to scrap subsidy on your petrol so that you can start buying your petrol for, possibly 340 naira per liter. Now, scrapping that will save Nigeria 1.8 trillion naira. That's what they said. Nigeria will save 1.8 trillion, but Nigeria will give 5,000 naira to 40 million Nigerians every month. And when we put all of that together, it came to 2.4 trillion. They're going to steal that, right? They're going to loot that. However, this is the history of your price increase since this democracy started. So I picked this up, and I think I should share that with you before I proceed, because what I'm about to tell you comes from this chart. One sec. This.
At this meeting, chaired by the President, Muhammadu Buhari, at the State House, a number of salient memos submitted by 8 ministers physically in attendance are approved. Arising from the council meeting, the aviation minister announced April 2022 for the kickoff of Nigeria Air, following approval by the Executive Council.
This is the 6th time that the memorandum appeared before council, and 6th time got lucky to be passed by council. The very quick, maybe perhaps structure of the proposed airline, government will be owning not more than 5%. Then 46% will be owned by Nigerian entrepreneurs, 46%. So if you add that, it's 51%. So 51% majority shareholding by Nigerians. And then 49% will be held by strategic equity partner or partners. If started, and within the first few years will generate about 70,000 jobs. This airline would pick up and start, by God's grace, on or before April 2022.
Giving an update on the proposed 5,000 naira transport subsidy to the most vulnerable, the finance minister reveals that the relief fund will last for a minimum period of 6 months.
We already agreed it will be 5,000 naira, and we also agreed that the remittances have to be done digitally. So the e-naira will help, but also so the various payment platforms that are currently available. What we will not do is paying people in cash. The maximum will be 12 months. The minimum will be 6 months. We thought it was important to do this to give people a chance to adjust.
The minister cites various improvements in the economy, including agriculture, which grew by 1.22%, a feat she believes will...
I hope you heard that, Yabi. Aviation minister that collected 11 billion in 2018 to launch a logo that they called Air Nigeria. And it was supposed to start, it was meant to start operation by 2019. That same minister walked into the executive chamber and presented a proposal for the same project here in Nigeria. We are going to borrow, or we're going to go and, rent 3 aircrafts, paint them with Nigeria here, our Air Nigeria paint, flag that. And within few years, they are going to create 70,000 jobs. Oh dear. And it got approval. Yeah, it got approval. They're going to have to give him some money to go and perform the magic so that in 2022, Air Nigeria will start again. Did you hear the Minister of Finance, or Finance Minister, That is the lady behind all the borrowing, all the whole schemes, scams of credit transfer, money transfer to the poorest Nigerians. They have they've given 500 billion to 11 million household during pandemic within 48 hours. That is the lady behind that. What they are not telling you is this. They said they want to give minimum of 6 months. They'll give you 5,000 naira. Maximum of 12 months so that you can adjust to paying 340 naira per liter. Your minimum wage is still your minimum wage, isn't it? It is. So, what they are not telling you is that as much as they love to throw figures around, yeah, Nigeria is in serious debt, like sinking in debt. The economy is in complete comatose. I always read that in the book, comatose. Something we know they move again. Something we know they stagnant, comatose, crippled, something like that. When they expect generated the revenue to give them this amount, and the revenue comes back and give them this amount, yeah, so they go on, they go borrowing. And they say, he who go borrowing, go sorrowing. That is why millions of Nigerians are currently what? Sorrowing. Now, this is it. They are using 95% of their revenue to service debt. And they are borrowing money to service debt. It's like you take a loan. And in order to pay back this loan or to service it, you have to take another loan. So debt upon debt upon debt. And the only people who actually seems to give them a good deal, they are the Chinese. China gives them interest rate of between 5 and 7%. A moratorium of longer term, maybe 20, 30 years. Not like the World Bank and the rest of them. That will give them condition to go back and devalue their naira. Yeah? So they borrow here to pay another debt. And what does that mean? Continues to lead to job loss. And job loss leads to what? Leads to poverty. And that is something they are pretending to be managing by giving you 5,000 naira before you get used to it. The other one, where the northern leaders, I know you have been following that as well. 2 days ago, this fake name, I like to call them that because they are not real. They give themselves different names just to sound relevant in the media, so to say. Northern elders. They are warning Bukwari never to declare the Fulani terrorists as terrorists, even though a court has already done that. Sheikh Osama bin Gumi himself came out and he said, if you do that, now wahala, because number one, it will no longer mediate for them. It will no longer be their intermediary. Therefore, whatever it is right now is the reason why Nigeria hasn't turned to Afghanistan. That if you try to listen to what these people are trying to, you know what I mean? Then it's going to be a problem. Yeah, he said that. But the northern elders, they told Bukwari that he should be careful in declaring the terrorist. Because if you declare them terrorists, that means all the Fulanis in Nigeria, they will be treated as terrorists. And I said, wow. I wish the Igbo leaders felt same and reject or tried, reject the tag of terrorism as or terrorist on IPOB. That they know have never committed any crime against anyone there. But you see those terrorists who have been kidnapping, Every day that we are still talking about, every day. As you're watching this video, people are negotiating their ransom, how they are going to get out of the captivity of those who have taken them. Fulani bandits, Fulani terrorists, and many other criminals who are now working in affiliation with them. Their leaders have told Bukwari, and you can tell it didn't take them. You see, it's taking them forever. It didn't take them much time to quickly hit the media. It didn't take them much time for Malamu to quickly draft his fraudulent law, blah, 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 to prescribe IPOB. You know that? But look at how long it's been taking. It's been over a week now that a court, a legitimate court in Nigeria, after taking it into evidence, after taking into account all the activities, the terrorism, that even if the judges are those who are in the court, are they living in the moon? Are they not living in Nigeria? So with the evidence and all that, the court finally ruled that they are terrorists. The next action should be for the government of Nigeria to what? No, they are not doing anything about that because, yeah, the likes of Gumi will probably lose its relevance, and they don't want to. That's pretty much like a shooting yourself on the foot, but it's now up to us. Somebody sent me a video of when we talk about the brutality, the assault and the killings in eastern Nigeria. It is simply because if we keep quiet, like many would, right, or many are keeping quiet, one day similar thing will happen to you, happen to people you know. You would expect the world to scream. You would expect the world to react. You will scream for justice, the injustice alone, right? And that is the reason why many of us won't just look away. So when we talk about Zamfara, you talk about Abia. When you talk about Jigawa, you talk about Abeokuta. And the reason is because, yes, every time this activity, this act of terrorism is done, right, there are victims. And the victims are just me and you, people like me and you who have hope, who have dreams. Somebody sent me a video from Iyala. It was one of those illegal roadblocks set up in eastern Nigeria where police were extorting people. And this led to a fatal incident that I think I should share with you. It is, I'm going to advise on viewers' discretion, okay? It's a bit graphic, but yeah, this happened. Somebody sent this to me, and it was done by the Nigerian police. It was done by the Nigerian security forces. When they finished, when this happened, right? They left the scene and they barricaded their own police station, and ready in combat form, they abandoned their victims, the ones they killed at Ihiala.
And causing such a chaos in this manner. Can you see what is going on? They blocked this road for over 3 months now, molesting and collecting money from people. At the end of the whole thing, this is what they have given to people. Over 200 lives has been lost. Over 200 lives has been lost. This is Mazian Waboke reporting for BTV. This is exactly what is going on. These are the survivors, those that survived the whole thing. Over 200 people are lying low here, killed. Look at, can you see this? These are the people that had breath within themselves. Can you see what is going on? Thousands of people have lost their life. So many things is going on. And you see this. Look at people, look at lives. Look at lives. And the police has run away. What they went now is to reinforce themselves. Look at this. They went and reinforced themselves only to come and shoot people. The woman has lost her hand. The police has just gone to reinforce themselves. Here is Ihiala police station. This is Ihiala police station. What they did was reinforce themselves. Can you see this? They now went and reinforced to kill people, to kill more people. That is what they've done. They've run away. Those that came out came to protect the police station. This is what is happening here in Ihiala local government. This is exactly what is going on here in Ihiala local government. You see lives. Here is Ihiala local government. I'm reporting for BTV. Hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. They went to bring their gun to start shooting people. You see the police, they went to bring their guns to start shooting people. They went to reinforce. They went to reinforce to kill people. Do you see what they have caused? They went to reinforce to kill people. This is what is happening here in Iyala local government. All these armed robbers in uniform, this is what they do. Look at the lot of life that has lost here because they are mounting checking points in the whole eastern region.
Do you get that? That's what people face every day.